Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Facebook Live. I hope today you've been able to stay cool wherever you are. I think the metro areas in northern Victoria certainly got a lot hotter than what we did. Okay, let me just get my laptop set so that I can see any comments. So this will just take a moment, because now the internet's being slow. All right, while that's catching up, I want to share with you one of the projects that we made in the card buffet class, or the launch event that I had last week. I think they were last week, might have been the week before. So yeah, I'm going to share one of these with you. Okay, so okay, I've just got rid of, there we go, got rid of the volume on my laptop. Hi Joanne, thank you for joining me. I'm glad you could be here live. Okay, so mini catalogue is this one here, and let me share with you a card that I'm making tonight. As I mentioned, this is one of the projects that we did in the mini catalogue launch event. So the papers that I'm using are called Lovely and Beautiful, and they're a specialty designer series paper, so are a little bit more expensive. But this card design I have taken from one of the sketches in the mini catalogue. So it's this sketch just here is what I've used to make this card. Let me see if I can get this to work. Let me move this over just a little bit. There we go. So the top sketch here is what I've used. The sketches are a really great starting point, and then you can add a little bit extra to them and make them a little bit more your own. So let me share with you these papers. They can be found on page 25 of the mini, and as mentioned, they are a specialty paper. So here they are here. Let me share these with you. So being a specialty paper, they have this really beautiful embossing on it. So it's a gold sort of embossing, but it is really, really pretty, and it does catch the light beautifully. So one side has the shimmer and shine, really nice patterns, beautiful selection of colours in these, and it just adds those details. So you can see it there. So each of the 6 different designs has one side with the embossing, and the other side is a flat pattern. Look at this one, how beautiful are these papers here. So just the gold embossing with the images, nice and versatile. You could do lots and lots of different things with this particular sheet of paper. And finally, there is the page number 6. Let me flip it over and I'll share with you what's on the other side. Again, just your more plain papers. They don't have the embossing, but again, just really quite versatile patterns for these ones, and all really, really pretty papers, pretty colours. So even the reverse side, if the other side is a little bit too busy, you've got lots of versatility with these. Hi Mandy, thank you for joining me. Okay, so these are the Lovely and Beautiful papers. $29 for the packet, 12 by 12 size. You get 2 sheets of each of these designer series papers. Okay, so let me make a start on this card, and then I'm going to run through a few reminders at the end. So I hope you'll hang around because there's some good stuff coming. Okay, stamp set that I'm using is called Reason to Celebrate, and this one is also in the mini catalogue. Let me just quickly find it so I can show you where it is in the catalogue. Let me see, page 19. So this one is a really nice versatile sentiment stamp set that you can build your sentiments. So there it is there, page 19. This stamp set's $35, so it's a really reasonable price. There are no dies or anything that go with it, but you can do lots of different things with these sentiments. So that is where the sentiments have come from. My 2 inks I'm using, I've got Calypso Coral and Old Olive, And I'm also going to be colouring in my piece of baker's twine with the Petal Pink Stampin' Blends. Oops, upside down. Okay, so that gives my bit of white baker's twine a little bit of colour to coordinate with what I'm making. Okay, so let's get started on this one. Okay, so the kit has, of course, an envelope because all my kits do. So these are the Stampin' Up! Envelopes. They are nice and smooth, standard C6 size, really pretty and good to stamp on. Hi Carol, thank you for joining me. Okay, so we have got the piece of Designer Series paper, and this one measures 7 by 7 centimetres. A piece of Calypso Coral, which is 7.5 by 7.5. So those two can mat together really nicely, or they can go a little bit off centre as I've done on my card. I've got a second piece of Designer Series paper, and this one measures 2.5 centimetres by about 14. I've got my piece of baker's twine, which I'm going to colour, and my piece of Petal Pink ribbon. There are 2 pieces of white cardstock, basic white. These two measure 10 centimetres by 14.4. Hi Angelica, thanks for joining me. Hi Corinne, thank you for joining me. So 10 centimetres by 14.4, which is the standard sort of size. I've got a third piece of white, which measures 9.5 by 13.9. These measurements will sound familiar. They're the sort of stock standard measurements I use on most of my cards. And I've also got a half sheet of old olive cardstock, which will be my card base. Okay, so let me grab my bone folder so that we can fold the card base in half. There we go. All right, I'm going to pop this aside just for the time being because there's a couple of other things I'd like to do first. I'm starting with my smaller piece of white cardstock, which measures 9.5 by 13.9. And I'm going to begin by sticking my old olive piece of Designer Series paper down the left-hand side. So I'm going to be using Stampin' Seal, but you can use your Tombow, glue stick, whatever adhesives that you would normally use. Okay, so I get that going there, lining it up down the side, and I'll need to trim just a small amount off one end. Okay, so there is that bit done. I'm going to continue working on this piece because I do have my ribbon that I'd like to put on, which I'm going to place along the Designer Series paper, allowing about 0.5 centimetre. And I'm going to use a little bit of sticky tape just to hold this ribbon in place. So just tuck it at the back, and that will hold your ribbon firmly in place. Okay, before I do my next bit with my second piece of Designer Series paper, I'm actually going to colour in my piece of baker's twine. And as I mentioned, I am using Stampin' Blends, and this is the Petal Pink, which is the same colour as the ribbon. I think I used on my sample card, I think I used the darker marker. I'm going to go with the light one and see how that goes. The reason I'm using the Stampin' Blends marker is because they're an alcohol-based marker. It's going to dry much quicker. You can do this sort of colouring of your ribbon and your baker's twine in different threads using an ink pad as well, but you want to give it plenty of time to dry. So with the thicker end or the paintbrush end, I'm gently just sort of rolling over the top of the baker's twine. And you sort of need to do both sides, because otherwise one side will be left a little bit white, or in this case vanilla, which is the other colour that I use when I'm colouring my baker's twine. And then you have your nice coloured bit. As I mentioned, using more of the paintbrush end, you'll get much better coverage much quicker. Don't use too much pressure, because you could end up damaging your marker. So then you end up with your coloured baker's twine. I'm going to leave that aside while I do the rest of it. I'm going to come back to that when I finish the rest of the card, just so that it gets a few more minutes to dry. Okay, my next two pieces, I've got my Piece Designer Series paper, which measures 7 centimetres by 7 centimetres. I've got my Calypso Coral, which measures 7.5 by 7.5. So this is going to be stuck on. Again, I'm using Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to have this off-centered just a little bit, which sometimes I don't do overly well with, because I kind of like things to stick straight, but I'm going to live with that for today. It's just a little bit more of something to look at on your card. Next, I'm going to be adhering this to my piece of white, and I'm also going to be doing this slightly on the angle, just like that. Okay, so this one, let me show you the sample card. So I've actually lined up my Piece Designer Series paper to make that straight and sort of level with the bottom of the card. So some dimensionals, which I've got some of the standards. I think this is my last little bit of dimensional that I've got here at my table. So with the standard size dimensionals, you won't need to use quite as many as if you're using the minis. So flicking the backs off those, and the back of the standard dimensionals are so much easier to get off than the minis. Okay, and then might go that way, so it's going to look slightly different to my original card. Might go there, a little bit more of an angle. So with the card sketches that I showed you, let me just quickly go back to those, which are on page 17. I think it's 17. Your sketches, any of these are just a starting point, and then you can make it whatever you would like, add extra bits to it. Okay, I probably should have done my stamping by now, but I haven't, but I'm going to do that now. So as I mentioned, Reason to Celebrate is my stamp set. And I think what I'll do next week, I haven't got what I need here next to me. I'm going to show you what I've been doing with these stamp sets and the new packaging, just so I know at a glance if I'm missing any stamps. But I will do that next week because I didn't bring everything I need over here to show you. So I am going to make this one a happy birthday because, oh, maybe I want to do a thank you. I do a lot of thank yous. Is there a thank you in there? Maybe not. No. We'll stick with happy birthday. Okay, so I've got the birthday. So this is going to be done in 2 stamps. And I've got the little happy as well. So some of these are quite small, but it's really nice to be able to create different sentiments from one stamp set. Okay, so let's go with Calypso Coral to stamp the birthday. I'm just going to get a piece of scrap paper just to test my stamp to make sure I'm happy with that before I go stamping on my card front. That would be okay. All right, so stamping the birthday down the bottom first. And of course, all of the stamps now going forward with Stampin' Up! Are going to be photopolymer, so that red rubber that we used to have, it's not going to be available anymore. So any stamp sets that are currently offered with the red rubber will continue to be offered that way. It's just anything new is going to be photopolymer, which is probably my preference now. Photopolymer does stain a little bit, but it doesn't affect the way that the stamps work at all. But it's more about the lining up of your stamps. It just makes this sort of stamping very, very simple. And then, as you can see, so easy to line up the second word. And this is Old Olive that I'm using for this second. There we go. So yeah, it does take the guesswork out of it, and I think generally speaking, when I'm lining up sentiments and stamps with the photopolymer, I've been much happier with how well it's stamped. Okay, so I'm now going to finish sticking this card together. It is a really nice quick one to do, which is why I thought it'd be a good one to share with you tonight. So bringing my base back in, I'm going to take the first of the white paper or cardstock, which measures 10 centimeters by 14.4, and I'm going to be sticking this onto my card front. And again, I'm just using my Stamp and Seal, which is my adhesive of preference. And onto my card front. And for my second piece of white that's the same size, again, some Stamp and Seal, and this is going to go inside my card. Now, the other thing, of course, with your the inserts, if you choose to put those in your card, you can also decorate them, do a little bit of stamping, or add some designer series paper, which I didn't do on this one. So yeah, even on my sample, I've just got that piece of white, but a nice thin strip of the designer series paper down the side or across the bottom really adds to just the finished look of your card. Okay, next, my piece that I've been working on, I'm going to be using dimensionals to stick this onto my card front. And I'm going to just put a couple in the middle, around about there, just so that the center doesn't collapse. Okay, taking these covers off. Okay, so I have a question for you. We've just come through the long weekend. Did anyone get a chance to do any crafting? Doesn't necessarily need to be stamping, card making, but did you get a chance to do, I guess, something creative? Because I think having that extra day is so nice. My husband and I actually spent the day just catching up on a couple of different things that we'd been meaning to get done, which was really nice. Okay, now finally I've got my piece of the baker's twine that I coloured with the Stamp and Blends marker. When you've coloured these and they're dry, they kind of feel a little bit more stiff, but it doesn't affect the way that it ties. So I'm threading that underneath my piece of ribbon. Okay, so Mandy made 2 cards, very good. I think when it warmed up yesterday afternoon, it was nice to be inside. Well, having said that, it was a really lovely day yesterday. Okay, so the tie I'm doing, as I mentioned, I've threaded my baker's twine underneath my ribbon, and the tie I'm doing is a shoelace tie. And that will cinch that ribbon in just a tiny little bit as well. So there we go. And I'm going to trim just a little bit off the tails for this card. And there you have a really simple card made using designer series paper. One of the great things about this particular card, you can choose any papers you like. Now, I did this in the class, the launch event, and I have extra kits available. So if you would love to make this card, I've got 4 of these kits available. The only thing you're going to need is a sentiment stamp set and either an Old Olive or Calypso Coral ink pad. And it doesn't have to be the sentiments I've used. You can use anything in your collection. So I do have 4 more kits available for these, $10 per kit, and I post it straight out to you. Now with this, please be aware, it won't have any stamped images, but it will have the rest of the kit for you complete. So they will be posted out to you. They'll land in your mailbox in a couple of days' time. So you will need your basic tools, which are things like your scissors, dimensionals, and your adhesive. I will colour the baker's twine for you, so that will be coloured ahead of time. And then that's all you need, and your stamp set, sentiment stamp set, and your ink pad. So that is what I've got on offer at the moment. So very, very basic supply. So anyone who currently makes cards or does scrapbooking, anything like that, this is a really beautiful card for you to get in the mail to complete yourself. So that is what I've got on offer at the moment. So as mentioned, the kit's $10 each, which includes postage to your door. Okay, so Corrine said, yep, not on the weekend, but today made some card kits. Excellent. Oh, the ones that you got for me. Lovely. I hope they worked out okay. I'm assuming that would have been the ones I did last Thursday. So they were such fun cards to make. So that is, yes, so this is available. If you would like one of these kits, or if you'd like 2, I do have 4 available. Please leave me a comment and I will be messaging you in just a little while. And as I mentioned, these will be in the mail very, very soon. A couple other reminders as well. So starting next month, if you decide to join my team, as a part of your starter kit, which costs $169, you will also have included the Stamp and Positioner tool. So this tool is basically so you can line up where you're stamping everything. Mine is on order. I'm hoping it's going to be here by the end of the week so I can do some demonstrations and show you how great this new positioning tool is going to be. So as you can see with the picture, it's just got that you can stamp. If your image hasn't stamped properly, you can re-ink and stamp again. Oh, thank you, Carol. I'm glad you like the colours in this card, because the old olive and calypso coral go so beautifully together. Okay, so that is the Stamp and Positioner tool. This deal will be available as of the 3rd of February. Next reminder, bonus days. So between now and the 2nd of February, for every $90 you spend, you'll get a $9 coupon to redeem next month. And of course, on your order, you will earn Stampin' Rewards, which you can use on a future order. And then you get your $9 coupon to use next month. You only have February to redeem your coupon. If it's beyond February, unfortunately, you're going to lose it. So please, please, please keep an eye on, if you earn any of these coupons, keep an eye on the website. I will be, and my Facebook page, I will be sending reminders to use those coupons. Finally, okay, on the weekend, I made a Valentine's Day card. You may have seen my post. So this is using one of the papers. It's called Love Notes, which is here on page 17 of the catalogue. They're a 6x6 paper, and I had to sit down and play with them a little bit. I have made a couple of other cards using this paper, which I will share with you, but I decided that I would make up a Valentine's card. So it's just using strips of Designer Series paper. It's using some leaf die cuts from another set, and I've just got Love You So Much. On the inside, now that I'm home, I'm actually going to be stamping Happy Valentine's Day. If you would love this card to make for your love, I have this card available to purchase as a kit for $12, which includes everything you see here, including the envelope. It doesn't have any stamping on it, so there won't be the stamped sentiment. You'll be able to use one you've got at home. So that one is just for the kit to put together yourself, or if you'd like to receive this card fully made up, fully stamped, ready to write in to give to your love, it will be $15. That includes postage to your door. And of course, you will just need your basic tools and equipment, which is some adhesives, scissors, your stamp and ink. So that is another one that is straight to your door. Okay, so I've got you covered for Valentine's Day as well. So that's it for today. That's all I've got. And also, please remember, next month, so February is next week. Actually, only next week's come around really quick. My classes will be resuming as normal. So next Monday, the 2nd of February, I will have the Stamp and Blends class to share with you all. So I'm hoping that some of you might be able to make that one. As always, if you have any questions about what I've made tonight, if you're interested in purchasing either one of these kits, please let me know and I'll pop them aside for you, and I'll be in contact with you very, very soon. So thank you so much to Mandy, Corrine, Carol, Angelica, I think Joanne was here earlier. Carol, I think I mentioned Carol. Yeah, Joanne. I think I've got everyone. And for everyone else who's watching, thank you so much for joining me. Mandy, unfortunately, my class that I was doing, the morning class on a Thursday, I've had to change it to a Friday because my hours at work changed. So I'm now working Thursdays as well. So the only day I have now is Friday to offer that class. However, I am thinking about offering perhaps makeup classes where you'll get a choice of the couple of different classes that I run during the month, just to allow for people who are working and can't make the classes when at the times I'm offering. So yeah, there'll be more information coming out about that one in early February anyway, because I just need to have a look at dates and see how it's going to fit in my diary. But that will be a Saturday afternoon that I'll be offering that makeup class. So you won't necessarily miss out completely. It just may be choosing the blends class or the Thursday class. Yeah, just that the extra hours are great. So I'm a little bit more in my pay packet, but unfortunately it's yeah, now changing the day of that Thursday morning class to a Friday. So yeah, but keep an eye on my Facebook page. I will let you know what happens with those classes. So there we go. 2 cards that I'm sharing with you tonight. One I've made, one that I might do a Facebook Live on maybe the week before Valentine's, just so if anyone's got the kit, they can join me and put it together. Thank you again, everyone, for spending some time with me tonight. I hope you'll manage to stay cool today and you all get a nice restful sleep tonight. Hopefully it won't be too hot. And I will be back next Tuesday to share another card with you. And I'm actually going to probably be starting to do a second Facebook Live during the week as well. So stay tuned. There was more information coming out about that one too. So thanks again, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you next week.